Hey guys, I'm back from vacation and ready to do a lot more guides and videos and all of that stuff in Season 4, so you can expect that in the future on this channel. And today I want to share with you my leveling experience with my rogue in Season 4, and I also want to focus especially on the Barrage Rogue build for leveling. And the reason for that is in Season 4 we have this new feature in the seasonal journey, where each class gets access to a specific amount of items and aspects which are built around a specific build for each class. So for the Rogue class we have this Barrage Rogue starter pack, you could call it like that, which allows you to just equip these items and basically just start right away with this Barrage build. So it's very easy to do and very nice. I really like this idea of having a starting set for each class each time you start a new season. So I thought it's a good idea to make this video and share with you my experience and the way how I approach this Barrage Rogue starter set. And here you just saw me clear this capstone dungeon at level 55. This was also my first attempt of killing Elias, and I remember in the previous seasons this was a much harder process, so I had to respec my rogue to a poison build, and I was also dying from time to time. But this time in this season I feel it's a very simple, very easy leveling process overall, and I think most of you guys can also do this Elias kill at level 55 with your rogue, and especially with a Barrage Rogue like you just saw me here. And then after killing Elias at 55, I basically went straight to the Helltide like you can see here. And the monsters are no problem at all here. So even though monster level is 20 levels above my character level, so I'm level 56, they are level 78 in the Helltide, in World Tier 4, it's basically no problem at all, like you can see here. And I think what I also really like about this Barrage build is you can see I'm also playing without combo points. So combo points are very often the most powerful builds in the Rogue class, and I know many people don't like playing with combo points because it just feels very clunky, and especially in the early game you don't have a lot of attack speed available, so it's just very clunky and slow to activate your combo points, to load them up and do all the stuff. So I think especially with this Barrage Rogue build it synergizes very well with another specialization in Rogue class, which is called Inner Sight. So with Inner Sight you also have a way to fill up your energy bar very effectively if you attack this marked enemies which have this purple eye over their health bar. So Barrage synergizes very well with this specialization because we shoot basically I think 15 arrows at the same time with Barrage if we are playing with this with the Barrage aspects. So I can also quickly show you here. In the seasonal journey in Season 4 you will get a specific class-specific legendary gear set, and for the Rogue class this is the Barrage set, and what it basically contains is you have 3 or 4 aspects. So you have the 2 major aspects for Barrage, so one which increases your chance for one increases the damage of your arrows that ricochet after hitting enemies, and the other says that your arrows, your Barrage arrows, also pierce through one more enemy. So these are your 2, and also it increases your Barrage attack speed. But these are the 2 main aspects for the Barrage build. And then you also get the Ambrose aspect, which is also a very important aspect for the Rogue class in general, and also for this Barrage build, because it just simply increases your survivability by a lot. So with Ambrose you can generate your Dark Shrouds for free after casting your marksman skills. And since we are spamming a lot of Barrage arrows in this build, we are generating a lot of Dark Shrouds, and this is what basically keeps us alive in World Tier 4, even at such a low character level. So you basically get a set of the most important Barrage aspects for this build, and with Inner Sight and also with Shadow Imbuement, you will have not too many problems with your resources. So with Shadow Imbuement, for example, you can also skill the passive skill, which generates 20 energy each time enemies die from shadow damage. So since Shadow Imbuement is shadow damage and you kill your enemies with Shadow Imbuement, you will get also a lot of energy. And I would say that these two things could be already enough to have no resource problems at all in most situations. But there's another item that you can get, and like in order to even to have even less problems with resources and energy, which is the Mother's Embrace ring. I will also show you this later in the gear section. But yeah, with Mother's Embrace, you will also save up to 50% of your resource costs if you hit 4 enemies at once with your core skill. And then you will have basically 0 resource problems, like you can see here. Every time I encounter a big group of enemies, I have no problems with my energy. So this is the reason why I really like this build for leveling. You don't have to play with combo points, you can just spam your barrage, you have a lot of energy, and I think this is what makes it very fun to play in Season 4. And then I can also show you my gameplay of Nightmare Dungeon. So here I have leveled additional 20 levels or so, I'm 77 here. And I'm clearing a tier 45 Nightmare Dungeon at this point, so monster level 99, so basically 100. And this is also even more than 20 levels above my character. So you see it's also possible to do that stuff in the early end game. So I also cleared the pit immediately after this dungeon. So you need to clear a level 100. Tier 46 Nightmare Dungeon, and then you can do the pit, and it was also no problem. I cleared it in about 3 minutes. So you can play this build up until level 100, I think. So this will feel very strong through the entire leveling process, basically, also in the early end game. And I think I will also do that until I reach level 100, and then I will switch to a Rapid Fire Rogue or Grenade Rogue or Victimize Heart Seeker Rogue, whatever I feel like is the best, but I think I will keep Barrage until level 100. And just wanted to prove you here that you can do that, it's no problem at all. And especially, like I mentioned, Season 4, the game has become very easy, not so hard, not so much of a challenge in World Tier 4. So, I guess many builds are able to do that, but especially with Barrage, it's a lot of fun. So I can also quickly show you the boss kill here. So boss kills are situations where you will run out of energy for some time just because your Mother's Embrace ring will not proc anymore, and also your barrage only hit one enemy and not multiple enemies at once. But you just have to wait a few seconds and wait until your inner sight will reload, refill, and then you can see you still can spam a lot of barrage arrows after that, and the boss dies also very quickly, in my opinion. Okay, so this is the gameplay I wanted to show you, and now let's take a look at my gear. So here we have this branching volleys aspect, which you get from your seasonal reward, which is very important for this build. You get this high velocity aspect also from the seasonal rewards, and you get this Umbrus aspect. So these three aspects are basically all you need in order to play this Barrage build. And then, like I mentioned, Mother's Embrace is also very helpful. So I was very lucky, I found it very early on, and I think I also have found already 2 or 3 of these rings. So I'm not sure if I was lucky, very lucky, or if it's a common unique to drop also early in the game. So if you found one, then it's very good for you. You can immediately equip it, and you will have even less problems with energy regeneration, as I mentioned. But also without this ring, I think this build is possible to play with inner sight. But if you have very huge energy problems in the early game, then it's maybe a good idea to switch back to combo points for a bit. because there you will obviously have less problems with energy. But inner sight is very good with this build. So yeah, these are your key items for this build. Then I have this volatile shadows. So I forgot to mention in this, when I was level 70, or you can also do it before, but at some point in the game I switched my shadow imbuement for cold imbuement. And the reason for that is I'm still applying shadow imbuement on my enemies because I'm using an aspect for it, which is called, I can read it here, Volatile Shadows aspect. So Volatile Shadows says that Dark Shrouds also trigger an explosion that deals some amount of damage and applies Shadow Imbuement to each enemy it hits. So with Volatile Shadows, you can also play with another imbuement on your skill bar. So I really like Cold Imbuement for that reason, because it just increases your damage even further, especially versus elite monsters. So I can here play with Cold Imbuement for more damage and still apply Shadow Imbuement with my Volatile Shadows aspect. So I think this is a very good combination and very nice trick you can do when you have found this aspect. And the reason for that is we still want Shadow Imbuement because we benefit from some nice effects, like you can play here with mixed shadow imbuement for more damage, or if you don't have your exploit glyph so far, you can also play with blended shadow imbuement in order to make enemies vulnerable for 2 seconds. So also very helpful. Both of these are very helpful effects. And here also you can play with consuming shadows. So each time enemies die from shadow imbuement damage, you will generate 20 energy. So this consuming shadows as passive skill alone is just enough to refill your energy bar all the time. So if you can find this aspect very early on in the game, then it's also very helpful in order to maintain your resource management. So yeah, that's the reason why I switched from Shadow Imbuement to Cold Imbuement after equipping this aspect here. Then I'm also playing with Beastfall boots, but the reason for that is just the boots have very nice affixes. So you have damage reduction, which is very rare in Season 4. You have cooldown reduction on boots, which is not possible usually. So, and yeah, also movement speed, of course, and maximum energy. So very nice affixes on the boots, but yeah, it's just something I found and equipped. Nothing mandatory for this build, so don't get confused by it. And yeah, then on the rest of the gear I have this Frostbitten aspect on my pants, I have Concussive on my gloves, I'm playing with Retribution on my rings, so all of them are just offensive aspects that increase my damage. And I'm playing with Might on my chest because it's the best defensive aspect in the game. Damage reduction is very rare, so each rogue needs to play with this, I think, for leveling in World Tier 4. And on my helmet I also have Undying, so I can heal a bit with this aspect as well. So yeah, this is my gear and my aspects I use in World Tier 4 basically. And on my amulet I really like to put the Ambrose aspect on the amulet just to increase the chance to generate your Dark Shrouds, because your Dark Shrouds is the most important thing in order to survive in World Tier 4, and it also synergizes with our Volatile Shadows. So that's why I really like to put it on the amulet. And now we can go over the skills very quickly. So I'm playing with Heartseeker, Enhanced Heartseeker, so I get a little bit more attack speed, and I also need to use it in order to proc my Mights aspect to get 20% damage reduction, so also nice synergy here, casting Heartseeker every 4 to 5 seconds one time. Of course I invest a lot in Barrage, and also here improve Barrage to make bosses also vulnerable. We are taking all of these passives here, they're very good. We want Enhanced Dash for some more critical strike damage, Disciplined Shadow Step for more usage of Shadow Step, less cooldown. I really like to put trick attacks through tempering, so I tempered my chest plate and I tempered my pants, so I get 1 trick attack each. So this is very good, and I need trick attacks in order to proc my Retribution to deal more damage. So this is the main reason for that. But if you don't play with Retribution, you don't need this trick attack skills here. Then I want to play with Countering Smoke Grenade. This is very good. I daze enemies, I deal more damage to them. I sometimes freeze with my grenade. So very good skill. Then Countering Dark Shroud, I prefer it in the early game, but you can also switch to Subverting Dark Shroud in the end game for more movement speed. I think I have enough critical strike chance at this moment of the game. Exploit Malice, then here Consuming Shadows, as I mentioned, for your energy regeneration, Mixed Shadow Imbuement, because I already have a way to make enemies vulnerable. Then Cold Imbuement with Mixed Cold Imbuement. You will deal 40% more damage versus frozen enemies, and also additional 30% more from Frigid Finesse. So very good in order to very fast kill elite packs. Then I also have Innovation. I can maybe replace it at this point of the game because I don't have energy problems anymore, but especially in the early game it's very good to also invest some points into Innovation. And Haste for more movement speed, and I have 185% damage bonus with Precision right now. And my Paragon board, so here I'm playing with Ranger Glyph in my starter board. Ranger is very good because you can activate it without leveling it to 15 very early on, and this will give you additional 10% damage reduction each time you cast your Barrage skills. So yeah, I think it's a very good glyph to start with. Then Exploit Glyph in the cheap shot board. You can also activate it without leveling to 15 in this board. You have enough strength nodes here, so very good synergy with this board. I also like to take cheap shot as early as possible just to get this huge damage bonus very early on. Then I like to take Exploit Weakness in order to improve my damage versus bosses mainly. Here I can also take Cold Resistance, which is very helpful, and Control Glyph in order to boost my damage versus frozen enemies. And my next board is this Eldritch Bounty. I just want to take this legendary node here as fast as possible as well. So I will deal 20% more damage with my Cold Imbuement, since I'm dealing cold damage with Cold Imbuement. So yeah, basically taking all of this damage multipliers from the Rogue Paragon as quickly as possible. So yeah, this was the build, this little guide for this Barrage leveling Rogue. I hope you enjoyed it, guys. So in the next days and weeks I will do a lot more guides, and especially endgame guides with Rapid Fire Rogue, Grenade Rogue, Victimized Rogue. I'm not sure yet what exactly I will do in which order, but that's something you can expect in the future. So if you enjoyed this content, please leave me a like and subscribe to this channel. This would really help me. And yeah, I guess I see you in the next video, guys. Have a nice day and bye bye.